Hey guys, hope everyone's doing really well today or tonight. I wanted to make a quick video on being intentional with your social circle. Now, by this, I mean I guess, not just being okay with what you have currently and just being a little bit more intentional in terms of who you pick to be in your social circle, who you vibe with the best, who's aligned with your goals, etc. For me personally, I've in 2024 I was a little bit more intentional with those I surrounded myself with, and that meant um, not associating as much with those that don't really align with my values or kind of where I'm going, or those that will even put you down. So um, this is kind of a little bit from my learnings, and also kind of how you can approach it, and just some considerations as well before you decide to cut everyone out of your life, which you shouldn't do. Now, kind of as a base, people thrive off meaningful relationships. We are social creatures, and as much as you like to think that you don't need anyone, and people can kind of just be ignored, the reality is we all need people, um, especially for our well-being and our growth. Right? A lot of people think that they can just build a business on their own, or kind of um, just be alone and thrive off being alone. Now, obviously, there's introverts and people that feel that they need to be alone a lot of the time, and that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, you can only be alone for so long. Now, especially for growth, right? A lot of people think that for business that they're just going to build alone, and you can build alone. But I think where growth really happens is being able to leverage off other people's skills, and being able to leverage off other people's ideas, their personalities, what makes them driven. Um, so yeah, and our well-being as well. Even introverts want to connect with others eventually, right? We like to talk to people. We like to socialize. We like to exchange stories. We're curious about other people's lives. So meaningful relationships and relationships in general are very important. Now, feeling like you belong to a community and contributing to a purpose is essential for us to thrive as people. Now, a lot of people that don't feel like they belong, they end up moving to somewhere that they do belong. Hopefully, people don't put up with not belonging for too long. But as an example, if you have a friend group and not really vibing with them, you're gonna kind of go towards people that you do vibe with, and that might be through common interests, it might be through race, culture, anything that you can kind of find a common interest in. You're probably going to vibe better with those kind of people. I also think contributing to a purpose is really important, and I think this kind of goes back to your mission, um, what the big picture is for you. And for some people, that's giving back to other people. For others, it's building wealth or building a legacy. Whatever it is, they all involve people, connecting with other people. So super important. Now, what's important to know here is that people come and go as we develop and grow over time, right? Now, you might have a certain group of friends in school. They're not necessarily going to be the same people that you hang out with in your working life, when you're either a husband or a wife or anything like that. And especially when you get into when you're a little bit older and you're maybe retired, you may have some friends that kind of stick around, and you might talk to them from on different occasions. But you can kind of view groups of people through your life at as people or groups for that specific time in your life. Um, when you're retired, you're probably going to want to deal with other retirees, or people who are also around your neighborhood, or people at your local coffee shop or maybe pub. When you're younger and you're looking to build a business, for example, you're going to want to connect with those that are also building businesses, um, and they're driven and ambitious. Now, those probably aren't going to be the same people that are retired. Another good point here is that those that surround themselves with other people, right? They take those characteristics from other people. So, for example, if you're hanging out with people who aren't very ambitious or a little bit lazy, you're going to also mold your mindset, habits, and your outcomes to those people as well. A really common quote or phrase is that you're the average of the five people around you. Maybe it's three, maybe it's four, but regardless, you are a collective of those around you, and that includes your family, that includes your friends, maybe people at work, maybe people you interact with on a regular basis. So having the right people around you is super important, and it will shape your life however you want it to be shaped. Now, when you're connecting with like-minded people and communities, I think a really good way to approach this is using a blend of social media and in-person interactions. So obviously, myself, I've been creating content for a little bit, not too long, maybe a couple of weeks at this point. But even finding people on social media that connect with my kind of content or connect with what I'm talking about is really it's really great. Now you can also connect with people obviously in person. That should be the priority, but sometimes isn't as easy as posting something on social media. Some really good places you can find people are libraries. I'm in a library right now. Coffee shops, different events or networking functions, and even the gym, for example, if you're looking for someone who's also really into fitness and health. Another good point here is you need to be willing to be the first one to initiate or approach. Now, it's really easy to think, oh, that person should approach me, or he's a guy or she's a girl, whatever it is. But the reality is, most people just won't approach you because they're feeling the same way. Now, if you're someone who's genuinely wanting to, build that like-minded community or group of friends, you need to be the one to initiate and make most of the effort. So don't be afraid to have a chat with someone, or even compliment, or whatever it is. Take the first initiative to DM someone or comment on their social media posts. I think as well, having those shared hobbies and interests. For example, if you're in the gym, health. If you're posting self-development content, commenting on self-development, ideas or themes, or even if you're, for example, if you have a friend that really likes to invest, or of someone that talks about investing all the time, be curious, be willing to kind of engage them, talk to them, let them tell you about what they think about investing, how they approach it. you know, Even something like this, if you're not initially interested in that topic, you might end up being interested after that interaction and then connect with that person on a deeper level, which is an awesome outcome, especially for when you're trying to find people who are ambitious and kind of on your same, you know, journey, journey to success. And I'll leave with this as well. This is a really interesting point here, but building a relationship shouldn't actually just be a transaction. A lot of people, especially on social media, will view relationships as transactional, meaning they'll get something out of you, and you might provide something as well. But really, they're contacting you to get an outcome to benefit themselves. Now, I mean, that's just a part of connecting with other people, but you should really yourself genuinely want to connect with that person, all right? And I don't mean wanting to get something out of them, but just being a little bit curious, finding out more about them, kind of assessing them, almost like a first date of sorts, where it's like, do they fit within my mold? Do they fit my values, my goals? Do I actually like this person? And then from there, you can kind of just benefit of each other, or kind of share resources, etc. Now, here are some tips for optimizing when you meet people. For me personally, being able to set a goal and be clear on who you want to meet and why is really key. Now, you can meet as many people as you want. You can set a goal to meet 100 people, but exactly why you're wanting to do that is important. There might be some valid people in your life already that you're not connecting with as much, but they really align with everything, but you're just not making the effort. And you want to figure out why that's the case, rather than just going and finding new people and scrapping the people that are already currently in your life. So you need to be very clear on what you're wanting to do by building that inner circle and building that network of people that really vibe with you. And for example, if you want to grow, if you want to say, for me, experimenting was a really big thing, and finding people that were open to that and open to just trying new things and failing was super important for me. Now, once you've done some assessment, those that actually don't really align with your goals or values would, it'd be probably best to either distance yourself or just interact with them less. Now, for a lot of the time, that might be people, in your immediate family. That might be people that you've known for a very long time. Now, the key here is, not to ghost. You don't want to just avoid people because they don't align with what you think. We're able to have different views or opinions about different things. We don't have to actually, um, agree with other people. But those that you don't feel like you're progressing with, just distance yourself from politely. It's great to meet them on occasion, but they're not the people you want to be with day to day, or be talking about specific things with them day to day. In the short term, it may be okay to cut ties and grow a new circle that works better for you. Now, this is kind of for those that are more introverts, or more that they already don't have an established friend base. They're kind of a loner from the get go. Now, for some that works really well. For a lot of people that doesn't work really well, and they already have a circle of friends and family. But yeah, if you're someone that really doesn't have much to start with, you can kind of just completely eliminate those that you don't feel like align with you. That might be deleting social media. That might just be getting rid of your phone, getting a flip phone so people can't communicate with you. And look, if that works better for you, that's great. A lot of people do that. But for me, this is a bit extreme, so I personally wouldn't do this. And a really nice tip to end with is that you should kind of be the person that you want to meet, or aspire to be that kind of person. So, someone who's really interesting, someone who can communicate really well, someone who is nice to be around. You have good energy, you're curious, you let people talk, you're respectful. These kind of things are really important, and you're not going to find the people that are at the top of their game if you're not at the top of your game. So if you don't have manners, if you're kind of subpar to communicate with, then you'll probably find those people that are also not the best. So you know, I would work on yourself a little bit, because even I mean, I see people on their phones when they're you know on a date, for example, or they're just ignoring other people when they're in a group. It's really bad manners, and something like this, I don't expect you're going to get high quality people to hang out with you because you're not being high quality yourself. So hopefully you guys have found this really interesting. It's been really beneficial to me, and especially important in creating content like this. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.